All right, you're welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still reviewing the newspaper front pages. And now on the front page of this Nigerian newspaper, there were stories that we're taking. And now let's start with the battle between the governor of Kano State and the leader of the Kwankwasia movement. So it is Yusuf Abba versus Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso has said it is betrayal for people to leave to the APC. Meanwhile, this same Kwankwaso, was it not the one that said earlier that any party that is willing to give him vice presidential candidate ticket,
president is
you will move, president or vice president? So,
first of all, politics, like every other thing, it's about personal interest.
Exactly.
And Kano has its own peculiarities, nature and character. I lived in Kano for 7 years. I schooled at the UK. Yes, and tutored by the famous and popular Karu Jega. You see, Kano is different. This same Kwakwaso is the most powerful political figure in Kano State. This same Kwakwaso was betrayed by his longtime ally and governor of the state, Ganduje. But they could not win the state, take the state from him. Yusuf was his PA when he was minister. This governor Yusuf, his PA. So they've come a long way. So when Kwakwaso betrayed him and left, it was easy for Kwakwaso to pick Yusuf and he won the governorship easily because of the influence and political power of Kwakwaso. What we are seeing now is the president trying to win Kano by all means. Kano has been led by, for the past a year or two now, by two emir, first time in their history. It has not been resolved. All the sake for the sake of 2027. Now, the dice is cast. The governor is leaving. And some 40 members of assembly, the 40 members of most of the council chairmen in Kano State, about 8 members of House of Reps, they are leaving the party with the governor. But I can tell you that the political structure of the state still belongs to.
Hey, that's what I wanted to ask you. That, do you think that the governor
is very popular, and Kano people don't like
betrayers?
I can say it authoritatively here that they cannot. It's very difficult to defeat Kwakwaso in that state. Anybody you pick now will be the governor of that state. It will be difficult.
Somebody on this show, I'm not quite
we should
sure.
also forget that if you look at the figure, the votes called by APC in the last election, it was massive. But it means that APC also have their own. But for my findings, my friends, and some people in that state, it will be difficult to defeat.
Is there any remote possibility that all of this is just an act? And I ask this because we had a guest on the show who believes that there's no way that Yusuf Abba is actually planning to move to the All Progressives Congress, because just like you said, he believes they believe so strongly in loyalty, and he thinks that if he's going there as a mole, and it's a lot of pretense to just
No. You see, this same man met Tinubu last week. They both have discussed many things. One, give me the slot. It should be automatic. 2, if eventually I did not win, I'll be a minister. These are the things that they put on the table. You know, and Tinubu is very smart. Very smart. And one of the conditions he gave Kwakwaso is that we are not sure of this VP slot, but must guarantee the votes in Kano. And Kwakwaso knows that I'm a very influential person. If I trade off this thing without getting an assurance from the president, then I'll be in limbo. So that is why the man did not join APC. And the president has tried as much as possible to pick his guy, to lure his guy into the party, Yusuf, because of the votes in Kano. If you can get Lagos, get Rivers, and get Kano, you are your way.
Like they say, oh, you're supposed
to win the presidential election. And Tinubu has been very smart. Part of this is that he has been a kingmaker all this while. And he's not a king. He knows that these are the things they have to do to win the election.
And he has taken control of the South. You know.
That's what we are saying now.
Yes.
He gets Delta and then he gets Akwa Ibom.
Yes.
That's pretty much like it.
It's very
strategic.
But at the same time, let's just hope that the opposition will come together.
Okay, I want you to talk about.
They are not coming together. If they can come together under a strong platform, and pick someone that can win.
Who would that person be?
Like Jonathan.
And when you see
Obi cannot
opposition
win the
here,
national elections.
Why do you say so?
I'm an Obi. I like Obi, even though I belong to APC. I like Obi because Obi has been able to put many things, put most of these people on their toes. He's bringing new brand of politics. But election is about winning. It's about votes.
so you say Obi cannot win the national elections.
I'm not a politician.
So why do you say
I will
Obi?
tell you what I've been saying here. I've come to pass on this platform. You know, you cannot win the national elections. If Obi is at the head of the ticket of any party, you can get a vote in the north.
Okay.
It's difficult. And if you pick Obi, so as running mate, the northern people will not be galvanized, will not be enthusiastic to go and vote. You must pick someone from there like Atiku Abubakar. And if you pick Atiku Abubakar, well, your game is as good as mine. Tinubu will be back to National Rock 2027. So this is someone that can win votes both in the south and in the north. Then the other guys in the coalition will now work together with him.
You know what's so interesting in Nigerian politics?
Very, very
the fact that this same Jonathan that you're saying now is the one that has the potential to win election. A few years ago, he was not good enough to come back for second term. All of a sudden, a magic wand has been waved over him.
Office catapulted him.
The honorable
to be a statesman. The way he left office, it's not easy to just hand over power to someone else. Okay, he left office in a dignified manner.
All right, I'm about to talk about someone who left office not in a dignified manner. This week, one of the most high-profile corruption trials involving a former African cabinet minister gets underway in London. Diezani Alison Madueke, Nigeria's former oil minister and once the most powerful woman in the country's energy sector, is facing bribery charges at the Southwark Crown Court. British prosecutors allege she accepted luxury gifts and payments in exchange for awarding lucrative oil contracts while in office, a claim she strongly denies. The case is being watched closely in Nigeria and beyond, seen as a landmark test of global anti-corruption enforcement and whether powerful political figures can still be held accountable years after leaving office. Senior international correspondent Afia Hagen is at Southwark Crown Court, bringing you the latest from the trial. Good morning, Afia. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We see that you're outside the courts today. What can we expect from today's proceedings?
Today is the first day of the trial, expected to last 10 to 12 weeks. So today is really going to be about both sides setting out their stall, setting out their opening statements, and talking about what they expect to happen over the next 10 to 12 weeks of this trial. It's about the competing narratives for the prosecution and the defense. We're going to hear about how Alison Madueke was alleged of taking bribes while she was in office, who was involved in arranging those bribes, and how those luxury benefits were delivered to the former minister. The defence was also expected to outline particularly why this case, they say, is politically motivated and why the evidence should be treated with caution. Of course, we have to say that she has denied all the charges against her.
I mean, can you quickly remind us, especially for the benefit of our viewers, while we would look forward to dissect that later on, what exactly are British prosecutors accusing her of doing while she was Nigeria's oil minister?
Well, Alison Madueke, of course, was one of the most powerful government figures, a key government figure, as head of OPEC between 2010 and 2015. So she's been accused of accepting bribes and luxury benefits in exchange for securing lucrative oil contracts. Now, they say that this included flights on private jets, chauffeured cars, and high-end accommodation. And this is all linked to big business figures who are seeking favorable treatment in Nigeria's oil industry.
Wow.
All right. Also, just to quickly confirm about the evidence, these are strong allegations. She has denied them. But what evidence is the UK National Crime Agency presenting in court?
You're absolutely right in saying strong allegations against her. Now, the National Crime Agency is expected to rely on financial records, as well as witness and communication, so things like texts and emails that show how basically Alison Madueke set up how she would receive these bribes and what she could do in exchange for getting the private jets, the high-end accommodation, the luxury travel. They're also supposed to present evidence of intermediaries, of the go-betweens between Alison Madueke and the people who wanted to benefit from her being in that position. People prosecutors say acted as middlemen between the oil executives and the former minister as well. Now, this aims to show a pattern of bribery and corruption.
Afia, I worry about how this will turn out and how it's presented Nigeria on the international scene. How would you say this is important in telling our story in terms of how well we deal decisively with corruption? What kind of image has it given us?
Well, this will really serve as a test case on how the UK government will deal with a crime that's international, that's happened on UK soil as well as on Nigerian soil. I think it will certainly serve as a test case. And you're absolutely right in saying this does reflect on Nigeria on the world stage. The fact that she is going to present herself today in London at Southwark Crown Court shows that someone perhaps that is prepared to take accountability. And I think also it will show others who perhaps may have done the same thing and may have done it on UK soil, that organisations like the National Crime Agency are intent on making sure that they get justice and that people are held accountable. Now, if that's the message that's going out, then perhaps this will show that countries like Nigeria or wherever else in the world where corruption happens, that if you do bring that to the United Kingdom, that perhaps your time is up. So I think that's how this case will be followed, that perhaps it will be a test case for international corruption trials going forward. In terms of how Nigeria reflects on the world stage, lots of governments have been accused of corruption in the past. It's now about whether people will be held accountable for their actions when they were in office and afterwards as well.
All right. It's all about accountability, but thank you so much for tracking this case. We know you will be joining us later on at 12 for the 12 report with Blessings Mosugu to give an update. Thanks for your time, Effie Hagen. Thank you. All right, we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'd like our in-house analyst to look at this this particular case, a case of corruption. It's back again, this time not in Nigeria, but in the UK. We'd like to hear your thoughts on that. But let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll take that. Welcome back. So like you heard, the case in the UK, Desiani Alison Madueke, former, you could say, oil and gas magnate in Nigeria.
Just to refresh people's memories, for those who have forgotten some of the charges, let's now narrow it down to UK, because the US also have funds that have been linked to her, repatriated back to the country. EFCC has also sat on some of her properties. But the NCA said Alison Madueke allegedly benefited at least £100,000 in cash, chauffeur-driven cars, flights on private jets, luxury holidays for her family, and the use of multiple London properties. The charges also detail financial rewards, including furniture, renovation work and staff for the properties, payment of private school fees, and gifts from top designer shops, such as, I don't even need to call their name, but these are huge designer brands. But let's get your reaction to this.
No, my reaction is that that shows that there's no hiding place for people that steal our money. People like allegedly steal our money, because the court has not, the court has not convicted her yet. So we can only be
speculative.
Full of opinion on that. But I'm one of the people that believe that people that use public office to stick public fund should face the consequence. And this case has been on for long. This journey has been on for long. And some people have tried to burnish our image, but it has not worked. And happily, this is a UK court where they will deal with the law, with the case itself. And if she found guilty, you can be sure that she will spend many years.
And this one, you don't think that the Nigerian government will send a delegate to have a conversation with the UK, like they tried to do with Ekweremadu?
Yeah. Even before that, what?
When they sent a delegate now to the UK to sort of try and negotiate a deal to have him
You
come back to Nigeria?
that is UK, for God's sake.
To come and finish his sentence in
Look
Nigeria.
at the case one is facing now. The respected Zekume. What is facing is in a mess. So these things, we can try those things in Nigeria. We cannot try it outside this country, particularly in the Western world. UK, for example, you can be sure that what we are saying, it will go through the legal process. And if she's found guilty, she's spent many years in.
Let's go to the Nigerian Tribune very quickly. A big story here. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Nigerian Tribune. I'd like us to take that story. Electoral Act Amendment Bill. I don't know if you've been following it. There's this back and forth. Stakeholders tackle National Assembly. A statement was released yesterday by a member of the Assembly. He said I think people should also know that there are two minority caucuses that I've checked.
So are you talking about Electoral Act or tax laws? Because
I'm talking about tax laws. I'm coming back to
this one's about
Electoral Act. I'm going to the tax laws first. I want to get your thoughts on the tax laws. And then the issue, I don't know if you've been following it, it's quite messy. And here we have another one, Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Stakeholders tackle National Assembly. There's another amendment bill that they want to look into, even though they've said there's new challenges, so to say. But let's get your thoughts on the new acts, the amendment bills, that of the tax, that of the electoral. What's your take?
Let's start with the stars. The lawmakers are resuming today. And there is divergent views and opinion.
They are resuming today after 35 days. You need to specify that. Because the top left corner of the paper said it's that senators end 35 days.
And they get salary.
And New Year break.
Only salary. Allowances.
Wow.
Among God's allowances. They have it. And they be spending it in their various house. As spending on the way to Dubai. You know, but I'm not comfortable with the way Amala they handling the tax law. You know, I was thinking that there should be a convergence between the lawmakers and the federal government. Because if you want to tax us, you need to convince us that this is the reason why you are taxing us. Yeah. There must be a law to put in place by the National Assembly that makes it enforceable. There's no law that is in place to be difficult to enforce. And this is what I still say, minorities, that this is not what we voted for.
Yeah,
we voted for. And they are putting the federal government in the tight corner. And the federal government has been going around. What the chief taskers,
Taiwo Yedele
is the
chairman committee,
the chairman of the committee. Then the main task person, Zach.
Okay, Zach.
So
NIRS.
They will not be able to convince Nigerians. And just yesterday, Lagos is saying that if you wish to pay your law, they can remove it from the bank. So this is becoming. They should come out with an holistic memo. That is what Nigeria want to achieve with this tax law. And I'm sure between now and Friday, the lawmakers will agree on something. But because the federal agree, it will be difficult for the federal government to enforce this tax law.
But the lawmaker put out a statement there and said that whatever things they are doing now is old. They've already passed it into law. So Nigerians should just...
No, if something is hanging on it, if doubt is hanging on it, it will be difficult to consummate eventually. They should come together and let all of them agree. That is what we want to do. Now we have all agreed, signed by the president, then let's go ahead and enforce it. Without doubt, the doubt will be hanging on it.
Okay. I want to go back to a story that I saw at
the electoral law.
Yes.
I think the main thing is to ensure that it's free and fair elections.
Yes.
In Nigeria. People are saying that the way the law is now can easily be manipulated. And that if they are
transmitting is the major problem.
Yes. Result from the polling center
to
the collection center.
Yeah.
It should be seamless. And it should be done electronically.
Yes.
But that thing should be in the law. Should be explicit in the law.
Yeah.
It's not there yet.
That section.
And if it's not there, it leaves room for many irregularities.
Yeah.
All right, I want us to talk about something I saw on the front page of this Nigerian newspaper. We had spoken about it earlier. Serap sues Power Minister Nbet over missing 128 billion naira. So the Auditor General's report showed that there was 128 billion naira that was unaccounted for. Serap has taken Adebayo Adelabu and Mbet to court. Adelabu's response through his media aide is that Serap should stop carrying misleading information, that these funds was not in his tenure. It was even before he came into power, that it was in 2022. Is that a good enough excuse? Because this is what we see in successive governments. One person hands over to another person. The person that comes after says, I didn't know. We saw it with Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs with Betta Edu and her predecessor. One person does one thing, and then, we don't follow through. The other person comes and continues. So is it enough excuse for him to say, it wasn't in my time, it was the minister before?
No, we don't want to know who stands. But the money is still missing. And I just want to know where the money is. And that is why I've always insisted that Serap should be promoted. Because they have a duty to unravel all these things. The money that is stolen, the money that is in somewhere. And that's their job, the work they are doing. The Constitution empowers them to do that, and they are doing it. So the media has a duty to promote and make sure that what they are saying is in public space.
Yeah.
So, where is the money? Where is the money that everybody is talking about? That is it. I'm sure that by giving it the front page prominence, Tribune is saying that, yes, we are still waiting for the money to be brought out.
Okay. I want us to, let me see if I can take a different newspaper before we wrap up. The front page of Daily Independent newspaper. 4 banks risk forced merger and downgrade as deadline for recapitalization nears. It will be interesting to see what banks these are. Okay, so the 4 banks in this case, it says Nigeria's banking sector hurdles towards the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN recapitalization deadline. 4 lenders, Union Bank, Keystone Bank, Unity Bank, and Polaris Bank, stand out for the wrong reasons. And you can go into the details of that. Police intercept truck conveying explosives and arrest the driver.
That's the biggest story, especially that one. That one, or your state.
That.
Police interrupted a truck conveying explosive devices, and then they arrested the driver.
They arrested who?
The driver.
They
intercepted, yes, they intercepted a truck. There were explosive devices. The same Oyo State again. Police officers were attacked. I heard the assistant superintendent of police was shot and killed as well.
40 bags of
What's really happening in Oyo State, by the way?
No. There's nothing happening in Oyo State.
Okay.
I was not in Ibadan.
Okay.
So, Joanse.
So what's going on?
Don't raise alarm on Oyo State.
No, I'm just asking. These stories.
Criminal activities takes place everywhere in the world. It is the way and manner security agencies and operatives handle it that make us to worry. The state of Oyo State is a very peaceful place.
Obviously.
So all this thing you are saying is not enough for us to unduly generalize that the state is not safe. I wouldn't believe that. But security agencies have a duty to make sure that the people and the property are well secured. So these instances of bandits, because there is a Oyo State share border. They share border with the Republic and one other country. That's why you have that was an invasion about 2-3 weeks ago, and some people were injured. I think the state government have moved quickly to restore law and order. So this, what we are seeing now, is just pockets of insecurity, but it should not be enough
to scare anybody.
No, to scare anybody.
Thinking that
Oyo State remain a very peaceful place.
I see.
But if I don't go to Oyo State, so Ibadan twice in 2 months, I will be okay.
Okay, there's a story I think we can use to close if time permits. Yes. Tinubu departs for Turkey today on state visit. He's gone again. He just came back on the 15th, and he's gone again. But there's a controversy to this. While I was going through this story over the weekend, that the president will depart. And Bayo Onanuga put out a statement yesterday. However, prior to that, out of the 68 ambassadorial list, the president had mentioned 4 that will be positioned or moved to different countries. Yes, and out of the 4, he mentioned, I know there was France, United States, and so on. He mentioned
the one in Turkey.
He now cancelled it.
What happened was that, you see, I was disturbed at the weekend, and I was asking my friends in the presidency that you guys are showing to Nigerians that we have a dysfunctional presidents. And said, no. Because the man that they was appointed ambassador to Turkey.
Yes.
Was quickly announced so that we help the president in his 3 days visit. But the man was not cleared by Senate.
Exactly.
And there's no way you can go to
So it was not part of the 68.
Yes.
So how did they make that error?
He was the governor of Kebbi State. I met the man one-on-one. Complete gentleman. Intelligent. Cerebral and as a personality.
All right.
To protect this country's image well. But it was not cleared by the Senate. So there's no way you can go to Turkey. And that's why they removed the name immediately.
Mr. Aruna, we have to go now. We are
Absolutely.
out of time. Thank you for starting our week on the very bright
Absolutely.
note. We'll
Always my
continue to
pleasure.
bring you, always our pleasure to have you. We'll continue to bring you updates. Remember to follow up with the Desiani Alison Madueke case, as our correspondent Afia Hagen is currently at the court premises, and we're connecting with Blessings Musugu at 12 noon for the 12 report. We'll see you again tomorrow. I am Olive Emodi.
And I'm Joe Hansen. We'll see you again tomorrow. Don't forget to tune in. Bye for now.